Well, welcome back. Today is the last day of the 21st International AIDS Conference, or AIDS 2016, and we cross live to our reporter who's been monitoring the conference for us, Blain Herman. A very, very good morning to you, Blain.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Palesa. Good morning, everybody. Day 5, indeed. What a couple of busy days it has been right here in Durban. Over 18,000 delegates from about 180 countries right here that made up of the best minds, the best scientific minds, civil society. We've got people infected and affected by the disease, A-list celebrities, royalty, Prince Harry, Sir Elton John were here, Bill Gates, the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, who is also the chairperson of the South African National AIDS Council. They're all here trying to take stock of the global response to HIV and AIDS. Let's take some stock of the last 4 days now that has been, well, one can say very engaging right here in Durban. I'm joined by Professor Olive Shisana. She's the local chairperson of the AIDS 2016. Professor, thank you very much indeed for your time. Day 5 today, the final day. What have we learned over the last 4 days?
First of all, let me say this is an exciting conference because it's a lot to learn. What we learned is in terms of prevention, we are not doing very well in terms of social and behavioral prevention. We have the tools in terms of biomedical tools, but we're not doing very well, particularly when it comes to young women. We need to do a lot more on young women to make sure that those young women are prevented from becoming infected with HIV, particularly the adolescents. So we're concerned that we're not doing very well there, but we're also very happy with the fact that prevention has come on the agenda. You know, it was falling by the wayside. Everybody was saying, we got treatment. Now people are saying, no, we got to close the tap and make sure that we reduce the new infections. So that is pretty good.
And in terms of those key populations, isn't it? We're talking about the LGBT, transgender, we're talking about sex workers, those kind of key populations, vulnerable groups.
Yeah, I think now we're moved very much, this conference has moved very much from working in silos between the LGBTIs as well as the women and general population. We are now saying we are one. That's one key message that came out of the conference, is that we no longer should be driven by funding to separate the way in which we deal with HIV in the key populations as well as the women, particularly black women.
But funding is an issue, isn't it? I mean, we know 13 out of 14 countries have reduced their funding.
Yes, we've also found out that although we want to do a lot of things in terms of prevention, in terms of test and treat and increase the number of people that are actually on treatment, that are on care, we're going to have big challenges in terms of funding. The report that came out that actually showed that there is a decrease globally of about $1 billion, at the time when we say we want to end AIDS. That really shook us all to say we got to stand up, we got to mobilize, we got to get out there and get the funders to put in more money. We got to hold governments accountable to contribute to the global fund to make sure we have enough resources to be able to address this epidemic.
What can we expect for today, the final day?
The final day is the day when we're going to hear how we're going to do this together, how we're going to get to where we say we want to get to, and that is the end of AIDS. We're going to hear different strategies that are proposed, but most importantly, we're going to have a closing ceremony. And at that closing ceremony, we'll take stock of every key thing that came out from the conference, summarize it, have the rapporteurs summarize all of that, and then we'll be able to come up and say, from our point of view as co-chair, how did we see this conference? Then we are going to say, we're finalizing it with a declaration. And that declaration is actually going to be the way forward in terms of focusing on key scientific areas, of HIV prevention, pushing the vaccine research, pushing the cure research, and making sure that we also are dealing with implementation issues insofar as the vulnerable groups. So there's quite a lot of excitement in that direction.
What time is the closing ceremony?
The closing ceremony will start around 2:15. And it will go on probably up to 6 o'clock.
And that will be addressed by the Deputy President?
And the Deputy President is going to be speaking. And also we'll be able to hear from the new chair, of the new in fact, yeah, he's a new chair of the next conference, which is going to be happening in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
in
right.
2 years' time.
In 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Professor, thank you very much indeed for your time. I guess congratulations on a successful conference thus far, and we'll continue to engage with you through the next couple of months to see where we are at this stage.
I just want to end by saying I'm fired up. I want South Africans to be fired up.
Yeah.
We have been re-energized with this conference, and we're hoping that from now onward, we're going to take on the lessons that we have here and go forward.
There you go. Professor Olive Shisana is the local co-chairperson of AIDS 2016. She's fired up, and I guess all these delegates are as well. It's the final day. Stick around. We'll keep you updated with all the latest developments from here, the 21st International AIDS Conference. But now let's get the latest sporting headlines with Valen.